Alright, so I've been getting some questions recently about the monster claw I did a while ago for this monster logo build. Just a claw tearing through sheet of metal, and I'll show you how I did it. It's real simple. It's pretty simple. Just used, I used box 2 particle flow. Alright, I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so right now I just have an animated claw, and I want it to tear through something. So, alright, so first I'll make that sheet of metal. Just make a plane or a box. So I'm going to position it right where the claw hits, tears down. Alright, so it punches through and it tears down. Cool. Alright, I'm going to hide that. Alrighty. So, let's make a physics flow. First thing is, I'm just going to leave that open. Let's match this up to the size of the plane. I match the physics flow. So grab the birth grid, scroll down. Alright, so now we're gonna kind of line it up with height. Alright, just want to make it a little bit bigger than the object. That's a lot bigger. Alright. So line it up to the center of it. We want to make it just one row thick. Okay, cool. So we have our nice little grid. Alright. I like to make this generally a little bit smaller. Alright. Make sure your the size of the shape is maybe about there. That's good. Okay, cool. So we have our particles. When you start playing, they're gonna just fall down. So that's not what we want. So first thing is go to your physics world, turn off gravity and the ground collision. So they're just going to be floating and going crazy. Why are you, oh, that's right. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Bunch of floating boxes. Okay, we can leave the spin in there. Let's give some variation. Alright, we want to add a glue. Physics glue. Make sure it's on distance binding. I don't know about you, but recently my glue binding is buggy. It's not. Sometimes it doesn't show your bindings. So if yours shows, awesome. But usually I like to have that on so I can see it. But just pretend those bindings are there. I know they're there. Alright. Distance, yeah, I like to keep it around 10, 5, 10. Oh, I'm working in centimeters. I hope you are as well. It's probably the best units for dynamics I've found. Alright, so next, let's set this glue. Actually, let's see what it looks like first. So we got the glue. All these are glued together. On this claw, I'm gonna put on, turn this off, put on a P-flow collision shape, make it active, add in a physics collision, make sure it's not a regular collision, that doesn't work. Only physics collision works. So, and also if your object does not have a P-flow collision shape, your physics collision will not recognize it. So you have to have that on, and this will add it. So add it. There you go. So now it's in your system. Boom. Look at that. It's like jelly. So we don't want that. It looks cool though. Alright. So all it's doing is hitting your grid. Since the glue doesn't have any breaking rules applied, it doesn't break. So we want it to break when it hits, obviously. So check breakable by force, put it to a relative number based off of how fast your object is moving, and they break. They might break too easily in that one, so let me raise it up. 600. I like to keep these about the same. They normally act similar, so alright, so that's still breaking. Keep it 1,000. That still breaks very easily. Don't want that. Alright, again somewhere. That looks cool. Maybe like 8,000. My object is moving pretty fast, so kind of give that strength a good amount before it breaks. Alright. This you can leave around the default value. It's usually pretty good. Cool, so that is what we want. And even if you wanted to make it cloth, you can, I mean, you're done. You're done, there you go. Ship it. It's cloth, it's floating cloth. Cloth in water or in space. You can make that work. Alright, so, but we don't want that. We want it to be a sheet of metal. So, now I'm going to add a drag. Physics drag. Where is it? Physics drag, cool. Okay, what does this do? Kind of what it says it does. It puts a drag force on these particles, which ends up getting some pretty awesome results. Okay, so by default, linear, which is any type of movement, is by default unchecked. Angular is checked with a very low value. So we want to put, I'm going to check both of them. Okay, does not look like metal. Let's do 10 and 10. Starting to look pretty cool. Cool. Alright. Let's make it 2020. That looks pretty good. And you can even, I would probably keep the angular 75% lower than the linear drag, so you get that kind of outer movement when this thing punches through. That's not bad. Alright. Just to be safe, let's keep it at 18. Okay. So we got a drag, we got collision, glue, that's cool. That looks nice. Punches through, tears down. Look at that. Alright. Cool. Oleg is the man. Alright, now let's throw a sheet on this. Alright, so got my plane. Let's up this to let's make it 32 and 30. No. Okay. That looks nice. Alright, now let's throw particle skinner on there. Activate skinning. It's going to automatically pick up. No, it's not. I lied. So we want to add in the system, which is this OPF. Need to rename this particle flow system claw metal. Cool. And this is the metal. Awesome. Cool. So you can either select system or an event. There you go. So you can either do all or add by list. I like to be more specific to keep it controlled. So I like to add in which event I am going to utilize for the particle skinner. So activate skinning, and then boom, you got this thing working. Kind of. Does not look like metal. So let's tweak some of these settings. Okay, first make sure you get distance change for the type of this skin. Relative, well, let's see how it looks. So distance change. Cool. Alright, so we got this thing actually breaking. Let me turn off the display for particles, just so we could see the, can actually see the skinning. Alright, cool. So that actually, that looks pretty good. Okay. These distance change, let's make it absolute for depending on your resolution and the amount of particles, you want to make sure you want to play with these values to see what looks best. This one, since it's relatively low res, That's not bad. Cool, so this thing's puncturing through. Tears it. Sweet. Actually, let's rename this to... Oh, did not mean to do that. Okay, let's rename it to tear. I just thought of it. That was a good name for that flow. Cool. Alright. There you have it. So now what you could do, we got this thing all set. Got some nice little tear. So let's throw a turbo smooth on it. Get some nice detail. Okay, another thing, you see these floating pieces. I want to try to avoid that, and you can either do that by going back to skinning and adjusting the the parameters to see how precise you can get it. Let's see, kind of, or let's keep this at 40. All right. Or you can go back in and try to, I would tweak these particles. So you got some kind of stranded pieces. I don't want that. Just wanted the display. So we want to delete the particles that end up completely leaving the grid, breaking all the bindings. So throw the glue to a new event, and we want it to test true when it breaks the bindings. Cool. So as you can see, the ticks, let's just make it geometry. These things are getting thrown off. Oh, they were. Alright, so since we got this thing, we don't want any particles left over that break all the bindings. So make sure this tests true. We want to test true and break all bindings. So when a particle leaves the grid, breaks all the bindings, it's going to go into the next group. And that's when these turn green. So just need to throw in a delete. And they're gone. Which you technically don't need the delete, or even a delete, because when we specified which event will drive the skinner, so I can turn this delete off so the green particles aren't doing anything with the skinner. But if I do all particle flow events, see how alright, now you can see that skinner's part of this system. So that's why I like to kind of specify particular events, or events. Cool. So that looks pretty good. We got some tearing, and the skinner kind of got a little screwed up. remove uncontrolled. These are parts of it that are like, what is going on? Don't know what to do. Let's check that. There you go. Let's turn that on so we don't have to see that. Cool. Alright, so we got our little metal sheet. That looks pretty cool. Turn on Turbo Smooth and we got, there you go. Awesome. So there you go. Let's put a nice little camera in there. Real quick, let me just make a nice little camera. I should have done that in the beginning. Give you a better idea. This thing punches through. Boom. Set a key around there. Pull that thing back. Down. Just kind of rotate that down, move it down. Boom. We got this thing ripping through. Oh man, it's too early. There you go. Alright, throw a nice little material on it. Here's your box 2 metal tear. So it's really simple, pretty simple, straightforward. Nothing crazy. This works awesome on a very small, simple scene like this. Anything bigger you wanna, and okay, cool. So awesome. There it is. Hope that helps. See ya.